Welcome to Boots in Baltimore. I'm LeeAnn Blanchard. I'm here with Josh Mente at Co-Balt Workspace. So when I think of cobalt, I think cobalt blue, and obviously blue is a theme here, but that's not what cobalt really means, is it?
It is not. Actually, we were trying to come up with an interesting, unique name, and as most people do, struggle with it for a while, like because it becomes your brand. And I was sitting around and I was like, co-working Baltimore, Cobalt, color, and then it just kind of happened, and that's why it's hyphenated. And I don't know if everybody gets it, but I think over time people start to
Figure it out.
Yeah.
So what is co-working and why is it so popular?
Yeah, I mean, co-working is basically a collective, right? So if you think of it like everybody cooperating together for shared expenses in its rudimentary form. So basically, office spaces and conference rooms and desks and co-working memberships and virtual office and all kinds of different things. Everybody has a different need. But what happens is you have one all-in price depending on what part you use, and that pays for the building and the expenses of the building, everything from copier to coffee, beer, sparkling water. It's all free of charge, and you don't have to pay for any electricity or Comcast or anything else. So it's a very efficient way to kind of share costs around with everyone. So
Cool. So what are the different levels?
yeah, I mean, we have between the two buildings, we have, I think it's 37 offices, if I remember right. So that's your own non-shared space. So it's dedicated and door closes and traditional type.
You can lock it.
You can lock it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's basically, I guess, the highest tier from a cost perspective, but also gives you the most amount of privacy, but access to the full space. From there, basically, we have desks that we rent. You rent month by month. And then we have basically what you call...
But that's your own desk.
Dedicated desk. Nobody else can use it. It's only for you. We also have what co-working memberships, which is basically, for lack of a better word, coffee shop style, where you would kind of come in and there's 3 designated open areas, a bank of desks, a large co-working space, about 2,000 square feet, and then a pretty cool area up on top of this conference room where you can kind of just come in and lounge around however your style is. If you like sitting at a desk, you like, working on a couch or some chairs or a table. And then from there, we have what we call like a virtual office membership, which basically gives you a business address, mail and package handling, and you can form your LLCs or whatever else it is you need to do. You don't want packages or mail to come to your house or anonymity of where you live, because a lot of people don't want people to know that.
They don't want their packages stolen.
Correct. It seems to be a problem at times with that. So we have a dedicated person here who handles all that. We also have conference rooms. We have 3 of them, free of charge on the highest tiers, and then a certain number of hours as the tiers go down. And then we also rent them to the outside public. So anyone can rent the conference room by the hour.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a full service center. Our 2,000 square foot co-working space also doubles as an event space. Only nights and weekends, because our day job is to
provide for the people who are here.
Correct. So at nights and weekends when it's not in use, we have everything from, we've had weddings here. We had 2 last month.
Oh, wow.
Actual non-traditional weddings. I say non-traditional in the sense of it is a church, but it's also an office space. So it is a little bit unique and different. Baby showers and birthday parties, and it's kind of a fun place, very Instagrammable. So
yeah, speaking of which, so you mentioned that it is a church, and when you were talking about the co-working space upstairs, it is stunning.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning. Yeah. So why did you pick this space, and why Hampden? Just
I mean, if you're asking about the background of how this all came to be, I think small businesses have a unique struggle when finding space to lease, right? So I found it. At the time, I was running a pretty large real estate sales team, like a little mini brokerage, basically. Property management company, a house flipping business. We were actively out looking for space, and we wanted anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. So the problem is the way traditional leasing works, it's 5-year increments, blocks, usually, traditionally speaking. By the time you go into a space, you're either too small and you have hopes of growing into it, or within that 5-year period, you've probably outgrown it. Yeah. So you're kind of in this, it's not very flexible. It doesn't really move with your business. It kind of becomes very stagnant. So I found this building. It had been renovated in 2000, but hadn't really been, I shouldn't say it was kept up, but
Was it utilized to its highest purpose?
yeah, we repurposed some areas, opened some things up, paint, carpet, kind of changed it up. But the hard work was already done by prior owners. And from that, the idea started like, okay, I love the building. I like real estate. It's one of the best streets in Baltimore City, I think, and it's a great neighborhood. And there was no co-working space here. But really what happened was I was like, okay, we don't need 10,000 square feet for
what you're doing,
businesses,
right?
So what does it look like? How do we make it work? So I came up with the idea of basically creating our own flex space for our businesses as they grew or contracted. And the idea would be that we would take offices and desks and whatever we need, and we just basically rent out the rest of it. Yep. And from that, kind of, put together some models and spreadsheets. My nature is to go out and figure it out. Like I'm very curious by nature. So I figured out what the industry was, did a lot of background research on it, and just took a chance with it. Now, as it happens, I sold those businesses to someone else, and they moved out of the building. So I was basically left with a building, all co-working space. So it actually worked itself out in reverse, not the way that he anticipated, but flexed the other way. So it kind of worked itself out. So it's been an interesting, ride. We launched in January of 19. We hit max capacity, basically pro forma wise in March of 2020. And we obviously know what happened.
Wow.
Things kind of slid down,
yes.
From there. And then basically, it's been a slow ride back, but we're in good shape now. I believe we've built the brand. People know where we are. We've had a lot of good people come in and use the space and had a lot of good feedback. So it's been good.
Well, so what type of businesses or people do you find utilize co-working space?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think depending on what the co-working space is will dictate kind of what gravitates towards it, right? Mm-hmm. For us, the neighborhood we're in, plus the type of building, there's certainly a lot of creatives. People want to be in a fun space that's unique and all that kind of stuff. I also think that with the stuff that's happened with the pandemic, there's been a big shift towards remote working by force, meaning like not chosen, right?
Not everybody's productive at home.
Some people are lonely. Some people want to be around people, right? So for different reasons, we have a lot of remote workers who come in, a lot of small businesses, because we don't have these big, huge offices. A lot of them are on the smaller side, meaning like anywhere from 1 to 4 people. So we see a lot of small businesses as well. It's been interesting. We've had remote workers from Google and Spotify and like a lot of national companies that have come in, either taken a desk or an office or whatever. So I think companies nationwide are also reevaluating how their business models work and what they're doing with their lease spaces, contracting their central headquarters, giving people stipends to go out and work in co-working space. One of the byproducts, I think, for companies is that their talent pool has gone nationwide, right? So it's not just where you're located, it's also someone that could be in Baltimore. So we've seen a lot of that. We've also seen a good number of people that have taken this opportunity to start businesses. So maybe even starts with a virtual office and then they move to a desk and they kind of shift around because it's designed to be convenient that way.
So do you have any success stories, or how have you seen clients grow?
Honestly, yes, but we also aren't ingrained in their businesses, right? So like we're not getting directly involved. We're just here to support them in whatever their endeavor is. But made a lot of friends here, a lot of people from different industries, and I've watched people grow out of the space, which is actually fun to see. There's an architect that came in, took an office. They grew so much that they had to go get a traditional office. So call that like incubator, maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
But a lot of nice people. We've shared a lot of business back and forth. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I like that aspect of having a community, but also it's not just people at your business, and having that sort of networking opportunity. I like the energy here because it's quiet. You can actually focus, but there is enough buzz. There's enough people doing stuff that it does get you motivated. It's way better than working at home.
There's no laundry to be done here. There's no dishes to be done. So.
No interruptions that you don't want.
So no TVs. Well, you could bring a TV if you want it.
If you want it. But beer's already on tap. So what are you really missing at home?
That's right. We have sparkling water on tap. We got coffee. Lunch is on you, but we don't provide that. We have some snacks from time to time and popcorn and stuff like that.
But we're right on 36th Street, just off of Falls Road, so there's plenty of lunch options.
Absolutely. Coffee shops, lunch options, excuse me, places to kind of go after work as well for some nightlife if that's what you like to do. So little boutiques, shops, nail salons. It's basically everything within a couple blocks that you could ask for.
Well, I think it's wonderful. How can people find out more about what their options are here?
Yeah, I mean, always where everyone's at, right? So we're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I mean, we're basically marketing ourselves. You can find us on Yelp, Google My Business. We have our website, which is CoBaltWorkspace.com. And then pretty much anywhere that you would traditionally find a company trying to find people.
Well, I remember when I was looking into it, I just did a tour to check it out and then decided on the tier plan that I wanted to go with. And like you said, it flexes. So you're not signed into a contract that you can't adjust as time goes on. So I think it's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time. This is Boots in Baltimore, LeeAnn Blanchard. Come check out Co-Balt Workspace.